most people are going to say go mechanical if you're riding ultra long distance races because you can fix it on the fly. Everyone's going to have a gear cable. Not many people are mechanically minded. I think the question you've got to ask yourself is, if you're using the group set, are you confident enough to be able to fix it yourself? If you're not,
if it's tuned well, then you never have any dramas. You don't have to worry about it. You know, worry about the battery being flat when you wake up in the morning or things like that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to ride one, but
just love the reliability.
Love the cables. Yeah.
Far and away mechanical, yeah, definitely.
Really? Why is that?
Oh, I think there's just something a bit nice about springs and cables and how easy they are to fix. Oh, it's had its struggles. I found the EPS, it's gone flat a lot faster than I'd like. And I mean, if you want to replace it, batteries and stuff are pretty expensive compared to cables. So that's the reason why I'm on my mechanical at the moment, is I can't afford a battery.
Probably mechanical.
Mechanical?
Yeah.
Why mechanical?
Because nothing, like, if something goes wrong with mechanical, you can easily fix it, but with electronic, it's a lot harder sometimes.
I like electronic better. It's just so much smoother. When you change your gears, it changes so much quicker, so I prefer that, just a lot better.
Yeah, I've ridden both, and I reckon electronic's better just in the sprint. It's a lot easier to change gears in the sprint, can save you a few wins, a few embarrassments. So.
Nice.
Electronic, there's less that can go wrong as long as you remember to charge it.
Yeah, okay.
Not going to snap cables and that sort of thing.
Electronic the whole way.
Electronic?
Yeah.
Why electronic?
It's easier to shift.
Yeah, okay.
It trims the gears for you. It's fantastic.
Electronic.
Electronic?
I'm a convert. I
Yeah?
didn't think I would be, but I am.
Why?
Great for racing.
Electronic all the way, much smoother. Yeah, I've only recently transitioned over and I can't believe the difference.
like, you don't have the use of your hands after a couple of weeks, 15, 20 hours on the bike. You can barely change a puncture. So shifting, you're like lobster clawing gear changes. Now, with just a simple touch of the button, you're shifting.
Alright, so I'm back on Hampton Street, just at the front of my local bike shop, Hampton Cycles, and in today's video, we're going to go round 2 of a video I did hear a few weeks ago, Shimano 105 versus Ultegra versus Durace with Darcy. And Darcy works at Hampton Cycles, he builds bikes, he used to race bikes. And if you missed that video, I'll link to it in the below description area. But if you've just landed on this channel, this is where I do cycling videos, both inspirational and entertaining. And I do love a deep dive cycling product review, which is pretty much what we're going to do today. So in that previous video, I had a lot of comments in the comment section saying, okay, what about mechanical versus electronic group sets? And I myself, I've ridden electronic and mechanical, and I was a bit of a late adopter to electronic. And when I got there, I was like, wow, this stuff's amazing. And then I've gone back to mechanical, and I'm like, what's all the fuss about? And then I recently reviewed a Venge, I'll link to that video below in the description area too, and that had Di2 on it. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So I'm super confused myself, even though I've ridden them all. So what I wanted to do is we're going to have a chat with Darcy, and he's going to explain to us the differences between mechanical and electronic group sets. All right, so I'm back with Darcy, and Damo is in the back there by popular demand. Just tuning the bikes in the back there. And today we're going to talk about the differences between mechanical and electronic group sets, and Darcy's got Ultegra bike here, so we're going to focus on the Ultegra 8000 series. And we're going to talk about the advantages mechanical has over electronic, and vice versa, the advantages electronic has over mechanical. But quickly on price, so there's about a $1,000 difference between Ultegra 8000 and Ultegra 8050 Di2. And in terms of weight savings, you get about a 10 gram weight saving with electronic. So outside of those two factors, what advantages does electronic have over mechanical, Darcy?
Yeah, so probably your biggest advantage from mechanic perspective would be the cable stretch, the time building it, you know, all those kinds of things.
So this has no cables?
So this has got cables, so you can see the cables down in here. It's wires, they're not cables as such, but that connects everything. So there's little looms and stuff all over the bike up in here. Your batteries in seat post and things like that.
The junction box on the rear here.
Yeah, so the new Venge that's in there. So
And the cables up here as well.
Yeah, and there's cables that connect all into the shifters and run into different junction boxes and that kind of
They
thing.
don't stretch like they do in mechanical.
They don't stretch like mechanical. So say if you were to have your mechanical bike in for servicing at your local bike shop, and you know they put new gear cables through your bike and brake cables, etc. You'll probably experience over the coming weeks, 2 to 3 weeks roughly, your cables will stretch minutely, just as they settle back into their housings and back into their homing place. So most mechanics will say bring your bike back within 2 to 3 weeks if you notice your gears go out of tune, and it'll be a quick little tweak on the spot, which is cool, and then it's generally set after that, unless you know they're not fully stretched or you know that kind of thing. Di2 or electronic group sets, they eliminate that issue. So by them not having cables connecting and pull ratios and all that kind of thing with shifters, you don't get any of that cable stretch. Yeah, so the only time that you should ever really experience your gears going out of tune is if you're at the cafe, your bike falls over, or you're in the garage and you knock it coming out, you know, to go the bunch ride, or in a race and someone hits your rear derailleur or something like that. You'll probably experience your gears will go out of tune a bit, and that could be more to do with the hanger that's actually bolted onto the frame, and then the derailleur is actually bolted onto the hanger. So that's a pretty straightforward fix and tweak.
So more reliability with electronic, with shifting,
yeah,
in tune.
Correct. Yeah. So you'll have a longer tune life with your Di2 versions or electronic versions over your mechanical versions for sure.
And what about the shifting in general? Is it snappier? Is it faster? Or
shifting in general, so with Ultegra you can really program this one, so you can actually speed shifting up, you can put it to medium, you can put it to slow.
So you've got flexibility based on the rider.
Exactly. So if you want somebody who's all-out sprinter and he wants super quick shifting, you can set your rear derailleur to high. Right. So that'll give you really snappy shifting. Yep. Most people will generally stay on the medium setting. Some will even stay on the slow, but medium's generally where it's at and it's most comfortable going down. It's still quick, like it's still very quick. So yeah, there's plenty of programmability with DI versions.
And you were showing me something before on the back here, how you can program up and so the derailleur shifts and it stays, it helps with longevity of the chain.
Yeah, correct. So basically what this little guy here does, he's your main sort of control unit apart from your shifters. So with this, you can actually put the new Di2 into different tuning modes.
That can quite often be here, can't it?
Yeah, so on other bikes they'll have the little loom or junction box up in your handlebar here.
Or even down here, I've seen.
Yeah, some are down here. I think the Pinarellos and stuff have got them down in here. I think some of the Williers as well. But the Venge is...
This one's here, my understanding, like how the pros, the mechanics hang out of the car, and they like want to play and tinker with stuff, and this is easy access for them.
Yeah, it's an easier access point. It's also easier for charging because all your charging's done in through here. So it's your little charging port, etc. But probably to do more so with the gears, you can program this guy. So you can click this button twice, and that'll put you into semi-synchro. So semi-synchro basically allows you to stay into your big chainring and allow you to come up almost to the top and then it'll drop down. Okay. You can go into full synchro, which is another double tap, and that goes into full synchro. So what that'll do is it'll virtually, you want to go into your big chainring, before it'll allow you to go into your big chainring, it'll drop down 3 or 4 and then it'll go into your big chainring. What that does is it eliminates cross-chaining, so you will get longevity out of your chain, your cassette, your chain rings and pulley wheels and stuff like that. So a lot of people, they will generally just go for the semi, which is the first setting in there, and then people that have raced for years, they'll always stay on full manual mode, I guess you can call it. So yeah, that's what they're trying to get across with their electronic systems, is that it is more programmable, it's more user friendly, and they're trying to make it more user friendly even from, I think it was 9 or 10 years ago from the old one. That was virtually just click the button, your derailleurs work. This one you can really program it all and do a lot more with it. Like anything, it all progresses over the years. So Yeah, so
Okay.
they're probably the main
ones?
main ones.
And so this versus mechanical, so what advantages would a mechanical group set have over this electronic one here?
Okay. So say if you're...
Obviously price is one.
Yeah, price is one.
Yep.
Probably your biggest advantages and disadvantages is if you're out riding back a Burke, say, your batteries go flat, you're kind of stuck, you'll be pushing the dogs around. Whereas if you're out the back of Burke again and your cable snaps in your shifter, in your mechanical version, you can actually adjust your stops with a screwdriver. Most people, if you're going on long rides and that kind of thing, you'll carry a little toolkit.
Yep.
So you can adjust your derailleur stops up, so you can put it back up into the middle cogs, etc.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a few things, and also with mechanical as well, your local, I think there's a couple up in around
the Burke area?
Yeah, the Burke area. They've generally got lawnmowers and bicycle mechanics and tyres and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they'll generally have a cable on
Yeah,
hand
yeah.
that they can replace it and put in. So, yeah.
But some people just forget to charge their batteries as well, right?
Yeah, and that's the other thing as well. So they're trying to eliminate it more with little Bluetooth modules that you can put into your wiring with your DIs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then that will speak to your head unit, your Garmin or your Wahoo or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So they're starting to do that as well. So we'll actually show battery life of your group set on your computer.
Yeah.
So they're starting to minimise it even more and more, that it's not a likelihood that it's going to happen. Probably the other disadvantage over your DI is if you get a little nick in your cable, you're going to have to take it to a bike shop, or if you're handy on the tools you can do it yourself, but you're going to have to run a new wire through there.
Yeah.
Once it's cut, it's done like a mechanical cable.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's disadvantages, but there's probably more gains, I would say, in going to an electronic group set for sure.
Yeah.
So I think after hearing all that, mechanical still is a very good group set. But if you can afford it, if you're on the fence and you've got the money, there's a lot of value in DI too. You're going to get more reliability, assuming you charge your batteries. You're going to get more durability, and it's going to give you a bit more flexibility. But for me, I'd be happy with either. I'll catch you in the next video.